Thank you, Clary, for the intro. And you can all see how beautiful she is with this shirt because now every time I meet her, she's in her palette. So I'm actually quite happy about my job. Uh, so it's quite addictive as a field because as soon as you understand a little bit how it works, you start noticing things that work for you and the ones that may not work really well. And you will want to analyze even your cat, which sometimes you become addicted. So first, let me start with the fact that styling is not only clothes; it's about your whole self. So it's everywhere in your life. It can be in your house, how you decorate your room, how you write an email, what is your web page. So it is really important. Also regarding for example, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to do fundraising, you want to go to a bank, you want to go to a new client, the image is important. It's not that we don't judge, we do judge people in the first 10 seconds we meet them. So despite you may have a lot of good content inside you, you need to go, especially in the very big business world, giving the impression that you also know and what you're talking about, that you express yourself correctly. And unfortunately, yes, like many people go ahead with this strategy without having a lot of content. So it's important to build on the clothing. Overall, I think this passion of mine has started since I was a kid. So when Clary yesterday was telling me about the exercise that we were doing today, I was already thinking about the exercise. And it's quite funny, when I was a kid, my sport like was to try to, I'm the daughter of a businessman and a businesswoman, right? So for me it was natural to sell stuff, but I was trying to sell my mom's clothes to people that were coming visit us, or to my mom herself. So I was putting a lot of clothes around the house and I was showing her, look, this is good for you, it's €5 or something. So this was a start. Other things I was doing connected to fashions were some Barbie program where I could design clothes, and it was very nice. So I started like that. Over the years, I kept working to my passions. I have a lot of passions, so this is, could be sometimes a challenge, but also like a fruitful opportunity for me. In fact, I have a lot of businesses and I have a lot of ideas, and they keep coming up. So in 2020, it was a bit of a dark moment. So like most many people had, and so I started to try to express myself. Yeah, many people started painting, and actually paint quite well. So I was painting a lot, using a lot of colors, seeing that the world was more colorful than it looked, and I tried then to relate this to my daily life, right? Because colors is, you cannot paint every day constantly or bring your painting with you. Even though I was also making my shoes, like, so that was quite creative. And then I discovered this trend in Italy. Is actually a huge trend. So I started with Instagram, discovering this thing, the styling part, how what's born, how it's applied, and then I started through Instagram. That's the truth. I started checking and seeing more and more, and seeing that I was actually quite good, because you need to develop a passion. You need to be good at it. Unless you are very much a challenger, you are very bad at something and you want to excel in it. So you know there is a need of a minimum combination of stuff, right? So I started seeing I was good. I was exchanging opinions with my friends about it, and it was already 3 years ago that I started digging into the topic. Well, this year, finally, I decided, after that every year I was saying, now I will go to the academy, I will go to the academy, I will go to the academy. This year, actually, I did it. So it's just going back to school, studying the subject I liked. Sometimes I was even proud of myself because I knew a lot about the course. So like I did a good job, so I learned enough. I researched sufficiently, but I think that the solidification part given by the school, the context, the practical part was quite useful for me, because I validated what I knew. I learned new things, and it's always cool to go back to school to increase your knowledge from a sophisticated manner, let's say, not only with Instagram or with books or with different material you find online, but also personal contact is quite important. So this is how I went deeper into my passion. I made it solid through validation. And then I started, of course, I came back from my courses and I started talking about this with my friends. First, I started, of course, for free with my friends, testing, trying, because it's not that you have a certificate that you are a doctor or you are a consultant. You actually need practice, you need passion, and you need to have a sense for the client, especially in a business where you are trying to express someone's self. So you need to understand this person to take out the best of them to make actually realize what they want to be or be perceived as. So that's why was quite nice. So I trained myself with friends and testers, and then I met my first client, which was Clary.
The first time.
Yes, like paying client.
Wow.
As I was telling to Clary, this is my passion. So initially, I didn't want to make business, despite, of course, it's like when you're entrepreneurial, it's quite normal, and especially if you have an initial investment for building knowledge, which is quite high, you want at least to return your investment. So that's how I started to offer this service. Despite initially I didn't need it especially to sell it, I felt like I was satisfied enough just by having knowledge myself and accumulating this for my friends and whoever. But then, of course, you see that the effort you put into that, both in terms of money and in terms of time, because the time you take it's considerable to make a good job, needs to have monetary aspect related. Otherwise, you cannot proliferate in your passion, because if you don't do this exercise with no one, you will be set. But if you do it for free, you will waste your time. Like the amount of hours is massive. So you need to start going to the market sooner or later if you want to thrive in your passion. Otherwise, you can just learn and then forget about it. Like mathematics in high school, we most of every person learned it, and now you're not practicing it. So especially in what I am doing, practice is fundamental because it's very offline. So it's really me and the person look at it. So the more you do, the more you will understand and develop your own concepts. I think exactly also this. When you're at school, they teach you something, but then by experience, you build your own method, and you see where you are good at. Maybe you even decide to cut some services that you are not very good at to focus on the ones that you are better at. So it depends what you like. I think it's never too much. Of course, if you work 24 hours a day, it's wrong. But it's never too much, at least in this specific case, because it's really about seeing more and more use cases and approach them personally. And as I said, I'm kind of happy that this is here a blue strategy, a blue ocean strategy, because in Italy, for example, it's completely crazy. The thing everyone knows about it. Everyone would pay to get this consultation, but here people don't really know about it, and I think it could be very trendy. One day I could be very famous, maybe. So you will have a stylish, famous friend one day. So what I'm doing, personal styling is about who you are. Stop buying stuff that doesn't fit you, doesn't represent you, or go to a formal event dressed in black just because it said that black is for everyone. Because no. Then we have body shape. That's about the proportion of the body. Why doesn't every clothes fit everyone? It's not about the size. SML is about, is this dress right for your hips? Is this dress right for your shoulders? Or would you need to valorize this part rather than this part? Or what are the accessories that fits you better or whatever? And then we have the color analysis that I will give you some example very soon. That's done with these drapes, very fun exercise where we see what fits you. Then we have facial shape, that is everything about haircuts, sunglasses, glasses that are in proportion with your face. If you can have the fringe or no fringe, if you rather have curly hairs or no curly hairs. For men, I will know more in March. I think it's about beard or no beard, mustache, no mustache, and all these things. Then we have wardrobe analysis, and it's based on my wardrobe is a disaster. Where should I start from? What is good? What should go? What we need to add, and what we can keep. Some people cannot let go anything. One of them is my boyfriend. That every time I try to throw away something, he's like, "Why?" And I get guilty feelings. Why? I am donating this piece of garment. It's too small, Nicola. It doesn't fit me. But why? What I want to add also about the services is that at least some of them are very scientific, so they are about your lifetime. Once you discover your color, your body shape, your facial type, that will not change. Even if you are pregnant, even if you dye your hair, even if you get sun, like a tan, this will not change. Even if you take 10 kilo, you lose 20 kilo, your body shape doesn't change. Like you are made like that, you're born like that. Then there are other more expression, personal and expression modules, like for example styling. That of course can change, but over the lifetime you will have one, two, maybe three styles, but not more than that. So I think they are lifetime services that I try to communicate the most. So I try, like for example, with Clary, she has all the tools now to go in the world and express herself through clothing, based on what we said. And she can do it now, as in 10 years, she has her guidelines and she can stick to that. So it's quite useful also for a way of approaching to yourself, how you want to love yourself. Like as of today, there is a lot of mass market clothing. Everyone is just the same colors, especially for men. There are 5 colors in store: black, gray, white, brown, maybe, and some green. So you could take this as a like standardization. If you go to a wedding for men, everyone has a blue suit and a white shirt, and that's it. Like literally everyone.
Different life and that's it.
Yeah, it's like going to a boarding school. So it's really a way to take back a step backwards and go back to what am I? Is it Zara telling me what I have to dress this month, or is it me? Or am I just buying a 30 euro T-shirt, or am I buying something that express myself? And this is important. Also, you will not have to buy many million things. There are, for example, some tricks around it, like the capsule wardrobe, where you can buy some specific items or add them on top of what you have. Yes, and that they work and combine each other all coherently. So once you know your style and your body type and your colors, you will have to buy a set of clothes or just to some maybe you already have that are correct, but you can add on top of them so that you can make out of let's say 10 garments and 3 accessories a lot of different outfits. It doesn't have to be like that, but if you like this approach to simplify your wardrobe, have a good solid base and go on holiday with only few things and travel light, that could be an interesting place to start with. For example, Clay is kind of a sporty type, and so definitely this approach of simplification of life, it's very useful. Not everyone has to do it, but it's a concept that can be interesting, especially if you find yourself with a lot of clothes and nothing to wear every time. You're like, oh my god, my clothes look all terrible. So you will have only 10 items that are looking good, and they all look good with each other, so it's perfect. Most likely, if you have a lot of things that you're not using, it's because these things are not in your style, or they are not your color, or they are not your body shape. So when you put them on, you look like, oh my god, I look like a cube today. Yeah, yeah. So once you have the guidelines and you know that these things will work for you, you know more or less how to turn around. I've seen kind of developments. Even my boyfriend, he couldn't care less. Despite his French, he couldn't care less about fashion. And now he comes to me and like, Amore, is this in my palette? Even for the ski pants, does this work? So To my clients, I also offer some tutoring. My boyfriend has unlimited tutoring, but I also offer some time after the consultations to come to me and confront, because it's a lot of information that comes at once. You're like, and then you go into real world. Is it really? Have I understood correctly? So I think that the best journey is to start with the styling, know who you are, what is your life. So this is the question. What do you do in your life? We stop buying clothes that you will never use, right? Yeah, girls stuff. I bought a gala dress that I used at New Year's and never again. Very classic. Even I showed her yesterday Kate Middleton before the wedding. She used to have dark colors. She was dressing very casual. She was using makeup herself. After the wedding, she got definitely a restyling, change of wardrobe in terms of colors. She only dresses in her palette. The length of the skirt started to going longer and longer and longer and longer and longer and longer, because her role has evolved over the years, and they are definitely taken care of hand in hand for different situations. Then the consultation can be done after 18 until 100 years old. And yes, also my mom did, and she's very fond of the palette now. She goes around Clary with the palette in her bag. She doesn't buy anything that's not in her palette. I did for her the styling consultation, so she goes now and she's like, I'm modern, no, classic elegante, smart classic type. So this is not my shop. She knows it all. So age is not a limit. Even teenage mentality is fine unless they are teenagers.